tottering by gently.
Tossing by that, there are like...
There's 110 of them.
Yeah, we did 9 more over here.
What do you think, Sam? Not much to see, it's just a bunch of sticks, but it is. I'll let Charlie get back to work. Where are you off? Go back to digging holes. I'll join you in a second. So, we are creating a rose garden in collaboration with David Austin Roses, and it is consisting of about 180 roses, and the main focus of the rose garden is growing roses for edible or culinary uses. And you might be thinking, wait, what? So rose petals are edible. Doesn't matter the variety, as long as they haven't had anything nasty sprayed on them, you can eat rose petals. And then also many rose varieties create rose hips. So if you don't do any deadheading, or maybe at the end of the season and you've kind of given up deadheading, you get the rose hips. And one thing that we used last year was a lot of the rose hips from kind of the wild rose, dog rose, of which there's actually quite a lot around here in the hedgerows. Hedgerows, yeah, get it? And but there's actually some particular varieties here that we're planting that create much bigger hips, which means we can, it's much easier, say we want to make a rose hip jelly, for example, and then it's about going into all sorts of things such as syrups, wine, kombucha. We said that at the same time, Sam. You knew it was coming. I should have listed a load of things and not said kombucha, and you'd be like, kombucha! So what this does mean is a lot of digging holes. We did a volunteer day that we'll share like a rough plan of the garden. So essentially there's going to be 4 archways here. We've got one there already. That's going to sit at the end. Probably put some kind of like bird bath or something that you could then put a table on, and people can walk down, have some canapes, and walk down through kind of the rose runway, which is about 30 meters length, which is planted up with the tottering by gently rose. That is a great rose. The petals are great for use in savoury dishes, all sorts of on top of salads, all sorts of things. It doesn't have that kind of sweeter fragrance, but they do create really nice rose hips. So we're going to have a huge amount of rose hips to enjoy. But the volunteer day was nice. Very misty day, but to kind of get this garden underway has been something that my colleague Neil has mainly made possible. It's something we've wanted for a while, and it's to kind of show, to try kind of blend the idea of both ornamental and edible. I'm really fascinated by certain edible crops that ornamental, or certain ornamental crops that are edible, and kind of creating a bit of a fusion. And so that's our hope with this rose garden, is to really show people what is possible with roses when it comes to the kitchen, and enjoying the flavours whilst also still being able to enjoy the aesthetic. So in a way it's just a bit of a project to open up that conversation, and to invite everyone else to grow roses as well as a perennial, which is another real benefit. You could think of roses almost being like a perennial vegetable. How about that? Bet you weren't expecting to hear that today.
I'll say one thing as well.
Yeah?
Before we grew citrus in this country, they used rose hips and vitamin C.
Oh yeah, rose hips and vitamin C.
So that's,
yeah, and you get like,
it's not just
yeah,
like a fad.
yeah, and rose hip is really good for your skin as well. Ah, here comes Neil.
Roses!
With some more roses.
There we go. Plenty there.
That is nice and squeaky, that.
Yeah. Wasn't that water as well?
Look at this. The Poet's Wife.
Oh yeah.
And Emily Bronte.
Yeah.
Cool. More roses. Right, I better carry on digging holes for you.
Sneaking up behind you.
I'm Neil. I'm the project coordinator for the company, and I do bits of gardening and bits of admin, and get involved in all the bits and pieces around the company. It's pretty cool. That was terrible. Sorry. Can I say that again? So we've got 209 roses to plant, and that's about 18 different varieties. So we've got a really nice long hedge here that we're putting in on top of this berm, and that's going to be a lovely variety called Tottering Along Gently, which is a really nice kind of pale yellow rose, quite subtle in flavour and fragrance. So that'll be good for the more kind of savoury dishes that Sam might be preparing. And then that will lead you up to the rose circle at the top. So we're going to have 4 arches at the top with lots of different varieties of rose all around. And they're going to be the bit more exciting roses, so a bit of fruitier flavours, tea flavours, some tropical lemons and grapefruits in there with varieties like Lady of Shalott and Emily Bronte. And we've got some nice sort of spiced clove and apple sort of flavours as well. That would be really nice. We've also got some great roses that are good for hips as well. So we've got a variety called Hansa that we're planting, and that produces more soft, really edible hips. That'll be great for Sam to cook with. And they've got more of like an old rose fragrance. It's a really nice bright magenta colour as well, so that should be really stunning. And then we've got Lark Ascending, which is a beautiful rose, quite apricot in colour, and that will have a very sort of light tea fragrance. So that will be really nice, kind of subtle to go with perhaps some of the teas or cordials, either teas or cordials that you might be preferring. So that's going to be a lovely one. We're planting at the bottom there a variety called Nye Bevan, which is that links in nicely with the Welsh influence here, set in the nice Welsh hillsides, and that's got a very light scent, kind of myrrh sort of flavour, and so that'll be another one that might be better for savoury dishes. It's a lovely pale yellow flower, and really good hips as well on that one as well.
I love hearing people talk about the great hips.
Oh yeah, the hips don't lie.
Yeah.
Oh, we've also got another one called Generous Gardener, and that's going to be a climber that goes up one of the arches, and that's got an amazing musk and myrrh fragrance too. It's a little pale pink flower, and that's another one that produces really, really good hips. So as you can see, we've got the Tottering by Gently, which is a lovely pale coloured rose, leads up to the arches. And then that will lead you into sort of yellow planters. We've got the climbers going up here, so yellow climbers, and these fade into like yellows and creams, which then move around to more peach colours on the right-hand side. And then as you go around to the back, we've got the soft pinks and whites, and then the darker, richer pinks and purples on the left side of the arches. So that will be picked up really beautifully.
Try and mind the borage, but there's lots of borage, so I don't think I should mind too much. So yeah, just on the subject of roses, it was actually one of the first things that we put into this berm when we made the car park, which is actually leafing up quite nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 8 roses here, various different varieties. They're all bush roses. This is the Blanc Double de Coubet, with pure white blooms, strong fragrance. Fragrance is a really important thing when we're thinking about the uses of roses in a kitchen. And so these have been pruned back. They're now putting on a lot of really nice growth, and it's every single day you can see the difference in size that these create. And so the fact that all of our roses are planted, say, twice as close in terms of the spacings, I can really see how it's really going to fill up the border nice and quickly. And it's nice to put in the perennials and just think that in 3 or 4 years' time, that rose garden is going to be absolutely stunning. This is something that makes me very happy. A healthy looking apple tree in blossom, and yeah, simple things in life sometimes. So done a quick check yesterday. So of the about 100 fruit trees we've put in, so far 100% success rate from the bare root planting. This is a Denby plum. Another one coming through here, the Lord Hindlip. So good to see all of these leaves and buds bursting. Oh, there's a little magnolia flower. Poor little thing. It's like it must have flowered a couple of days ago. Again, here in the main orchard space, this is a damson actually we've put on the fringes. But every single tree I'm checking out, some beautiful leaves on it. And considering the apple trees the one that I showed just earlier, imagine all of these posts being like that apple tree in maybe 2 or 3 years. And then, give another 2 or 3 years, they'll be much taller than me and producing an abundance of food. So the next thing to do here is just give this a nice bit of a scythe to keep the grass down nicely. And if you're new to the Huw's Diaries series that we do every Monday, and there's a little playlist that you can watch. It's just a way of capturing some of the things that's happening in a more informal manner to hopefully kind of pass on some exciting things for you to try out or to think about in your garden.